Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up.
Roberta.
Good afternoon. Let me make sure I'm not muted today. Welcome to J is for Justice. My name is Jay and I am your host. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, please do consider subscribing. And if you are new, or if you're new, consider subscribing rather. And if you like what you see, please do give a thumbs up. I messed that up today. But hey, it's Monday. Happy Monday. It is our 3 o'clock live. We are live every Monday and every Friday at 3 p.m., no matter what. And of course, in between, no matter what pops up. So I want to say hello to you guys up in chat. We've got some moderators here. Thank you for being here. We've got the Mike Sandman. We got Angie B.
Tampa.
And we've got Miss Shell. And it looks like those are your mods today, guys. They're going to be in the blue with the wrenches and all the ones looking all spiffy up in there. And thank you to all the members that are here. We've got Wait What, CR, Audra D, Jenny, Onesies. Allison is the bored one, but she's not bored when she's here. That's the only time she's not bored. Right, Allison? Do I got that right? Bowling with Cotton Balls. I love your name. Tammy G, Stephanie K, Christina, Trixie. Hey, Trixie. Good afternoon, everybody. Peace Niddle for Shizzle. So today we are going to be talking about, of course, Bryan Kohberger. I've got a few things to bring to you. Let me turn off doggy cam because they dissed me. They ditched me today. They ditched me. Hello, Jill. I like that tinfoil tiara. We all need a tinfoil tiara. That's awesome. Never a dull moment here, you guys. Never a dull momento. All right. So what we're going to talk about first is the next court date. And the date of that is going to be June the 26th at 9 a.m. And they have those days slotted to start at 9 a.m. every day. So that is the first order of business. Let's get right to it. And you guys, I'm not going to be looking at chat all the time, so bear with me. I will try to get to your comments. If you have something that's pressing, go ahead and send a super chat and it will get my attention. Hello, heathen. All right. Thank you for everyone who is joining. Let's get into it. Let's get into today's weirdness. I think that's what someone meant when they said never a dull moment. So here is the first thing we're going to talk about. And that goes along with the June 26th date. It was ordered on January 11th. And I just noticed this. And it's not that huge of a deal, but I just want to go over everything they put out just because that's really all we're getting. But they are going to allow the family to Zoom on that date or on those dates. It says the court is mindful that limited courtroom capacity and potential travel restrictions may interfere with the victim's and the defendant's family ability to observe the court proceedings in this case. Therefore, in the event they are unable or prefer not to attend in person, the court finds it necessary to make the court proceedings available via Zoom for the victims and the defendant's immediate family members under the following restrictions. The victims and the defendant's immediate family members may observe the court proceedings in person or via Zoom. Then they give the meeting ID and the passcode. The Zoom information above shall not be disseminated to anyone other than the victims and the defendant's immediate family members, and any recording or live streaming is strictly prohibited. Dated 110 by Megan Marshall, the magistrate judge. And then down here, I scrolled down and I was like, oh, who else got a copy? Oh, Bill Thompson, the prosecutor, Ann Taylor, the defense attorney, and Julie Fry, the clerk of court. And I was like, wait a minute, isn't that Chief Fry's name? Fry, right? So I'm like, who's that? So I went to their website. So I just wanted to show you guys Chief Fry's wife. I didn't realize that she was the clerk of court. So this is an elected position. And I'm just going to go over her bio real quick. She says, I have been a resident of Latah County since I came to college at the U of I in 1989. So she is a U of I alum. I met my husband, James Fry, at U of I and earned my BS accounting degree in 1995. I was the Troy deputy clerk and interim city clerk in 96-97. I left the city of Troy job to be a stay-at-home mom. Very commendable. I started an accounting business at home and was able to connect with many small businesses in the area. This time in life also enabled me to be involved a lot with volunteer activities. We raised 4 amazing children who are now 22 to 29. When my youngest child graduated from high school in 2018, I got a full-time job at the city of Moscow as their treasury manager. This job has provided me vast knowledge into governmental accounting. What else is there to know about me? I love animals, hiking, landscaping, planning weddings, and most of all, just being with my family. So they have 4 children. And I don't know when she got voted in, but she won last year. Or is she running again? Is it an election year? Wait. This is 2023. These are just meetings. I don't know. Let me see. Let me come back to chat. Is it an election year? I guess he must be Mary P. He must be alumni as well. So it kind of, oh, I know. Planning weddings. That shit is a nightmare.
McNo.
No, thank you. Hey, Sam, how you doing? I don't think the trial is going to be on TV. That's my gut feeling is I don't think it will. But I don't know. A lot can change after, they have the prelim. Who knows? Who knows? For state government, it is an election year. It does say candidate, but I didn't know if this was old. That's why I didn't know if she was voted in, because she must. Like, it doesn't say she was the treasury manager. So I don't understand. Like, is she not the county clerk right now? Like, I feel like she is. We have Dan Foreman, Lori McCann, Brandon Mitchell, Brian Loomis, and Carl Berglund. Julie Fry. She doesn't have anyone running against her. So I think she's won. Congratulations. Congratulations. That could always change, though, Stephania. Sorry, I thought your name was Stephanie. I called you Stephanie. Elwing, I haven't seen anything about Ann Taylor moving anything up. It's June the 26th, according to the court documents as of right now. So she must have won. Like, yay, congratulations. County treasurer is Peggy. David Sutherland is the assessor. So the only one that has competition is the commissioner. Weird. I would have taken Fry's to be Democrats, not Republicans. That's interesting. Anyway, so that's your Latah County clerk, Julie Fry. So our next topic is the main topic. First thing first, the New York Post says that Kohberger, a PhD student in criminology at Washington State, wanted to intern with the Pullman Police Department in the fall of 2022 semester, according to the affidavit made public. In an essay he submitted with his application, the alleged killer wrote that he, quote, wanted to assist rural law enforcement agencies with how to better collect and analyze technical data in public safety operations. So that would have been a really good, it says here, Kohberger didn't seem to get the job. One of the officers who interviewed him handed his application records over to Moscow cops investigating the November 13th murders. So that's really all it says. He didn't seem to get the job. There's nothing saying he didn't. There's no confirmation that he did or didn't. So, lay talk on. I say everything wrong, Alyssa. I mean, there's not even any point in correcting me. I will try to say it Latah. I will try. Thank you. What happened? So anyhow, we don't know if he did or didn't. So I think it's kind of open for discussion, so to speak. So to speak, if you will.
Sure.
So I went to the Washington State University website, to their criminal justice newsletter thingy. And it says Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology, College of Arts and Sciences. This is about the doctoral level graduate research assistantship for public safety, which is what Bryan would have been applying through. Oh, that's awful. Sam. Hey, Stacy. Hey, Stacy. So, anyways, this is the actual program, and this is the professor who put this program together. And he is, I'll just read through this. I'm going to kind of skim a bit. So this is David Makin. I hope I'm saying that right. Makin, M-A-K-I-N, associate professor, proposed the creation of a public safety assistantship to embed doctoral level students into police departments for learning how to conduct research, translate research, and assist agencies in data-driven initiatives. With the support of the W.S.U. Graduate School, College of Arts and Sciences, and Department of Criminal Justice and Criminology, Professor Makin proposed a pilot program to the Pullman Police Department. At the core of the proposal was leveraging data to make informed decisions. By embedding a doctoral student into the data of the agency, PPD could be more responsive to funding opportunities, recently received a COPS grant to support employee health and wellness. It could also be better positioned to implement evidence-based practices, and most important, could have resources in both the research fellow and Macon to explore opportunities for improvement. In 2019, Megan Parks was the inaugural recipient exhibitee of the Research for Public Safety Assistantship. Jesus. Megan's 3-year reflection is below. So these are 3-year positions from what I understand. They get in and they get in for 3 years. And this is the first time they've done it. So Megan, this girl, Megan Parks, she was the first one to do this. And she did this for 3 years, from 2019 to 2022. So she was all done, and she talks about, I mean, this is just, I'm not going to read this, but she goes on to talk about what she did, how they got this grant, and she was able to set up where they got more money. They got $70,000 in April of 2022 under Police Chief Gary Jenkins. Now, remember, Gary Jenkins is the guy who, hey, HJ, he's the chief who retired amidst the, he was going to be disciplined. He retired instead. So, Jesus, this is just a lot to unpack. That's why I'm trying not to look at chat because it'll throw me off. So, they got $70,000 in this grant for that department, and that program will cover 2.5 years. So Chief Jenkins has already listed about 6 projects that are underway. Prior to this approval, the Pullman Police Department and other agencies were involved in research studies in support of the complex social interactions lab and research assistantship. Whew, that is a mouthful. So really, to break it down, this professor started this program that Bryan ultimately, we know he at least applied for, right? We don't know if he actually got in. So, but the thing that was interesting here is that over the 3 years, Megan became embedded in PPD to analyze agency data, develop protocols for new data collection processes, identify relevant funding opportunities, write grant proposals, and provide supervision and guidance to undergraduate researcher assistants working in the complex social interactions lab. So when we click on that, let's see what that exactly is. The complex social interactions lab. So I thought CSI was like crime scene investigation lab, but it says complex social interaction lab. I've never heard that before. It knows it can be difficult to utilize body cam footage to better your agency. We'll make this a simple process because the lab can utilize the following. They can use software to analyze police footage and give results and guidance to better police departments, validate police reports, improve officer decision-making, work with companies for research, and give WSU students hands-on things to do. So you contact the lab, you meet with the lab, and then cooperate with the lab by trusting the team while they work their hardest to provide the best solutions. So this is their thingy. So it sounds pretty cool, you know, for someone who wants to utilize that for the right reasons. Okay, so Yes, this is all WSU. Who's doing a documentary, Chris K? They did that with the Daybell case as well. They made a documentary before the trial. This trial could take years, you guys. I mean, we could be waiting years to see him actually go to trial. Okay, so let's go back to, you guys are wondering who gave them the grant money. So let's go down and I'll show you. It's the recently through assisting with the writing of a cop's office LEMHWA grant. It's a federal grant. And these are all of the awards, I guess. There's a lot. Wow, I didn't even go here. Okay, so here's Idaho. You can just see their little thing, but this is funding opportunities, grants, tribal assistance solicitation. I don't know, you guys. I mean, there's quite a few. Is it this one? LEM. Yeah, it's this. It's under the law enforcement mental health. That's what it's called. Hold on. It's called Law Enforcement Mental Health and Awareness Act program. That's what it is. It's a mental health program. So that answers that. What's the email for? To be honest, we're all just surprised this is so viral because the news won't leave us alone. I'm sorry to hear that, but it's probably going to be crazy for a while for you guys, Chris K. Are you a student or are you just a resident? Unfortunately, it's probably not going to go away. It's probably going to get worse before it gets better. Like in the summertime, if it goes till then. So this was started under Chief Jenkins, and Chief Jenkins actually retired in August, and that Ogold, whatever his name is, Ogoldmeyer or whatever, has taken over. I think, yeah, this is the grant to support, right here, look. Palouse Peer Program aims to improve law enforcement mental health and wellness. And there's Jenkins. It looks like, wow, look, October of 2021, the Pullman Police Department received a grant for almost 115,000 for this. And they're going to work as a collaborative effort between the PPD and the Moscow and Washington State University Police Departments. And this is all about PTSD, depression, alcohol abuse, burnout, divorce, weight problems. Jenkins. So they got 115,000 to create the Palouse Peer Support Program, which is another program. How many programs they got? Let's see. Yeah, these are just community initiatives, I guess. Community initiatives. Okay, so that's where the grant comes from. And let me see what else before I move on. Yes, okay. So when we go here and we're reading this, and you guys, I can link this in the video description so you guys can go. There's a lot of links, you know. The program received an international award for innovation. Macon proposed extending it into a second 3 year. Oh, this is what I'm going to tell you. Starting in the fall of 2022, the department is pleased to announce that there are not only 1, but 2 3-year graduate research assistantships with the PPD and the Pasco Police Department. So Pasco, I never heard that one before, but they are partnered up with Pasco, Washington as well. I think the bottom line here is I'm not necessarily going to go to like crookedness on these these grants and stuff like that. We have to remember that the police departments across our country went through a horrible, horrible time over COVID, the defunding and all of this stuff. And you know what, Phoenix, you may have a good point. He may not have got in, and that might have been his trigger, is that he didn't get in. And he was like, oh my God, like looking around, like I don't fit in here. I don't fit in here. And my lifelong dream, I don't fit in there either. You know? Yeah, Chris K., I am very, very careful of what I pick from a news article. You know what I'm saying? That's why everything that I'm covering, pretty much I try to go to like the actual university's site, to kind of dive into these things that we've heard about, these programs and things he applied for. So, Chris, I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for being comfortable enough to chat, and welcome to our channel here. And Krugs, hey, thank you for being a Roberta for 12 months. But it's interesting to just talk about if, he did get hired in here, what he would have been responsible to do, what he would have been researching and collecting and looking at data on. Yes, 1 year. Who is the lead on the investigation? Is it still Moscow, or is it now the state police? Because I know if you read the affidavit, you'll see that the Idaho state police, I believe, were the ones that actually were collecting evidence when the 2 Moscow guys got there, the ones that wrote up the affidavit. I know, I can't believe it either, Chris K. I'm glad that you did your due diligence, though, and it sounds like you're following this, responsibly without, freaking out and stuff like that. Hey, headphones. I read your comment, headphones, and I don't know what you're talking about. But I do feel for you, Chris K. I don't know. Where are you in Moscow? Because if you're not, you said you knew him as a kid, that would be where? Where did you live when you knew him as a kid? Because I don't know. I just know him to live in Pennsylvania. I don't know if he moved around as a kid. I don't know what his dad did. I don't know. Farley, I don't get a lot of super chats. I don't. I don't know what you mean by that, but I don't get a lot of super chats, and if I did, that's not why I do my podcast. So I did my podcast well before there were super chats to be had. So the next thing we're going to look at is, and again, thanks Chris K for being here. If you're a single widowed father, sorry to hear that. No, I mean, nobody wants any trouble. I'm just wondering. Oh, the clock behind me. Yes, I did. I changed the time. Was it you that recommended it? Whoever. Yeah, somebody recommended I change it to 4:20, so I did. All right. So I was wondering more about the professor. I clicked on his name, David Macon, and it looks like he's been there a while. So he's got his PhD, and he got it in 2012. From Washington State. He got his master's at the University of Louisville, Kentucky in 2004. And he got his bachelor's in Pennsylvania at Pennsylvania State University in 2002. And his research interests are police interactions with the public, translational research, data management, optimization, operationalization, technology, and public policy. Just being on this college site gives me stomach aches. Machine learning and AI, sustainable program development. So he's all up on the tech part of things. And he's got a lot of honors. Like I said, I'll put this in there if you guys want to go read up on him. I examine how police interactions with the public unfold and the factors predicting actions and inactions taken by participants. And then his teaching summary is questions are how we learn, and teaching is about creating conditions for curiosity to explore what we know, how we learned it, and what must come next. Now, doesn't that sound like maybe Bryan was trying to impress this guy? You know what I mean? Like, is that why he was he reading all of his, I mean, I'm sure he was, but like, it sounds like Bryan's objective was very similar to what this guy does. Like, I want to help the rural police departments do blah, 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 blah. And this guy's kind of a big deal, too. He's got, look at this. Under his direction, the CSI lab has processed over 30,000 hours of BWC footage for police departments on a range of projects, including improving the use of procedural justice, examining differential decision-making within police community interactions, enhancing CIT training, examining the application of trauma-enforced practices within domestic violence contexts, and most recently, projects seeking to understand the use of de-escalation and non-escalation strategies and tactics. He's done hell of a lot more than that, but he's written 50 peer-reviewed publications and has received almost $3 million in research funding, including the National Institute of Justice, National Science Foundation, and Office of Community-Oriented Policing Services. Damn. This guy has a lot under his belt. These are all the funding grants that he's received. Look at this one. $500,000 from the National Science Foundation. He got $84,000 for Pasco Police, $70,000 for Pullman, another $115,000, which we talked about. Public Safety Fellowship, $33,000. Wow, he got a partnership with Axon Technology, equipment transfer of 60 body-worn cameras worth $100,000. So he's like their hometown hero, according to the cops, I bet. Bridge funding, $135,000, another $30,000, $1 million from the U.S. Department of Justice, effects of marijuana legalization on law enforcement and crime. So huge budget for that on the Fed level. One net first responder outreach, 308,000. Washington State Department of Financial Management. And remember, what's his face? Jenkins. He said that he retired from Pullman, and then his friend, the vice president of finance at WSU, hit him up and said, come back to work. We need a chief over the WSU police. So he came back to work. Safety camera initiative, 300,000. And then he has taught undergraduate courses are senior capstone, realizing justice in a multicultural society, violence towards women, crime prevention strategies, technology, crime, and criminal justice, and introduction to criminological theory. His graduate courses are seminar in comparative policying, international policying, policying and society. I can't even pronounce this shit. Technology, crime, and criminal justice institutions. He's had many media interviews, all about like body camera data, guide to body worn cameras, whole bunch of articles. Wow. Online media publication. So he's written books too. He has a book. 2 books, DNA and the Property Crime Scene Investigation, and Avoiding the Technological Panacea, the Case of the Body-Worn Camera. So if we go, I clicked on his book, and I'll show you his book here. It is, let me make sure you can see that. John Gone Girl, hey, welcome to Robertolino.
You guys give up or you're thirsty for more?
Yes, L Wing. I'm aware of that. They retired versus being disciplined, if I understand that correctly. So this is his book, DNA and Property Crime Scene Investigation, Forensic Evidence and Law Enforcement, David Macon. And this, again, is the guy that could have taught Bryan. And he would have actually applied for the program that this professor created. And this is what it looks like if you want to hold it. So it's $12.49. You can get it on Amazon. And you can read all about him there. And then I went down to see if there was any reviewy poos. And he co-wrote this with a criminology instructor at East Tennessee State. That he may have known, though, from Kentucky. Because, look, this guy went to Eastern Kentucky University as well. So, David Allen Macon. Then you go down customer reviews. There's one review, I think. Yes, there is one review. And it is from Chief Jenkins himself. He reviewed this and gave it 5 stars. On August 7th of 2015. Brand new item at a great price. Great delivery. Mr. Gary Jenkins gave that book a 5-star review. That was nice of him. Mallory, that could be. Yes, this professor is originally from Pennsylvania. Well, I don't know if he's from there, but he got his bachelor's degree from there. So I don't know where he grew up or anything like that, but he got his BS in 2002 at Pennsylvania State University, and then his master's in Kentucky in 2004, and then he went to Washington State and got his PhD in 2012. So I don't know what he did between 2004 and 2012. I don't know where else, if it said on here where else he worked. I can't remember. But that's quite a gap. Maybe he was a teacher somewhere else or something. I don't know what he was doing from 2004 to 2012. or rather probably 2010 or something. I don't know. Not sure, but that is the end of Mr. Macon and his department. But they did create that program, so I thought that was worth talking about. And then if we go back here to the actual program and we click on the Pullman Police Department, it takes us to the Pullman Police Department website. And from there, we can go to, and this is all public info. You know, this isn't anything special. This is just, me just putzing around on the different websites. So when we get there, we can click on Department Services. And I thought this was super interesting, guys. Are you ready for this?
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell.
So the first service is the Citizen Ride-Alongs. Again, this is the Pullman Police Department, not Moscow, not WSU, not to be confused. They have a Citizen Ride program, or Citizen Ride-Along program. And all you have to do a ride-along with a Pullman cop is do a background check and fill out this application. But citizens may request to ride with a specific officer, so you can be choosy. You can be like, hey, I thought Officer Smith was, looking pretty good. I want to go on a ride along with them. So you can go on a ride along and you can choose any officer you want. You can request certain dates and times, days of the week, shifts. You can go at night if you want to, whatever. Every effort will be made to accommodate the requests. Once your application is approved and a background check's completed, a member of the department will schedule your ride with you. So those are done. And then there is also crime mapping. The Pullman Police Department is excited to offer an online crime mapping platform. I'm sure they couldn't wait to get all their crimes on one community map. What do you guys think? Do you think they were excited about that? I'm not sure. So this is powered by City Protect. This free service provides community members with up-to-date crime data while providing optional email alerts if and when incidents occur near locations of your choosing. This interaction map allows citizens to view criminal activity locations and trends over the past 6 months. And lo and behold, the motherfucker, it updates at 3 a.m. daily. You can't make the shit up. You can't make it up. It updates at 3 a.m. daily. What does that mean? I don't know. But 3 a.m., I must be lonely. I don't know. It really, every time I hear 3 a.m. or, any of these numbers,
I don't know.
It kind of jars me. And it probably shouldn't, because I'm probably being dramatic, but it does. So anyways, click on City Protect. And this is what comes up. Your connection to public safety. Now, I was like, hold up. Find your agency. Explore the crime data on the map. So I was like, okay, this is Washington State right here. And I go to agencies, but Pullman's, they're not in here. All it is Moses. It's the only one on here. I don't know. They say maybe it's offline or something. Because Caldwell, Idaho has theirs up. I don't know. Coeur d'Alene, Jack DeCoeur. Isn't that weird? Coeur d'Alene and Jack DeCoeur. They have theirs. But I don't know. That must be just offline, I guess, for the Moscow and Pullman. But Jack DeCoeur. What? Disneyland for real. So anyway, that really, didn't do any good. I don't know if they no longer subscribe to it. I don't know what the deal is, but that is on the city of Pullman's website, but it doesn't seem to be live anymore or something. So I think that was, yeah, and they're available for, public presentations as well. But I would like to come back to chat and chit chat with you guys. And I do have, if you guys have any questions about anything that I went over today, I can try to answer them. I'm just clicking around, just putzing around like y'all, just putzing around. I do have a going out video / kind of story for you before we leave as well. Hold on. Okay, so do you guys have any questions about anything that we went over? Decour means heart in French. Guessing those parts must have settled. I thought it was American Indian. There's a lot of American Indian reservations around there. Well, you know how some people are too, like Elwing, like some people like to make sure that their cops are in check, so they'll schedule a ride along. I bet no one has ever done it. But like for them to put that on their website, it makes them appear transparent, in my opinion. Like it makes them appear like they're an open book, but really when you click on the interactive map, there's nothing on it. You know what I'm saying? But hey, we'll do citizen things. Who knows if anybody even schedules them?
That's correct.
I'm sure there are people though that like to be involved and keep their elected and public officials in check, Hey, we're always in Nerdsville, Kelly Mac, and your dog is adorable. People can change, Chris K, and drugs change people. You know what I'm saying? Like, high school, when you grow up, I don't know how old you are. You're his age, probably late 20s. But the older you get, the less relevant high school is. And, like, the less it really matters, like, what people were like. Because you change so much from 20 to 30 that I think that it's hard to, like, stick with someone, It's probably going to shock you for a while. Like, it's going to stick with you, I bet, like that feeling you can't shake. But I don't know if it's French or not, but I just noticed it's Coeur d'Alene or whatever. And Jack DeCoeur. Liqueur. I mean, it's pretty close to that city name, isn't it? Where's Jack DeCoeur? That's weird, Roger. Coeur d'Alene. Thank you. Coeur d'Alene. So is it Jack DeCoeur? Exactly. I mean, like you. But God, I can't imagine. That must be shocking as hell to like see this kid you knew in high school that you would just never really thought much of. Did he go in the army after high school? Do you know? Did he attempt to go in the army or the reserves or anything like that? It's French. You guys are so funny. We should have like pronunciation 101 for me.
You're what the French call les incompetents.
I wouldn't put it past Bryan Kohberger, being that he was like this digital, digital, he was studying all this digital cloud forensics or whatever the hell it was. You guys, he would probably put way more planning into his pre-planning before anything even happened, when he was probably still doing a, being a peeping Tom or whatever he was doing. He could have been putting shit on the internet and no one would have known. No one would have seen it on Reddit. No one would have seen anything because no one knew his name. He was a nobody. He was a nobody.
Otherwise get treated like scum.
And I think that he could have very well put shit out there that when someone did Google his name, that's what you would come up with. Because I think some of his pictures look weird and leave you wondering if he was really in the service, if he was really fat, or, was he in the army? Inquiring minds want to know. There's no family pictures. And it brings me, I have a whole nother slideshow for you guys. Holy crap, Oli. Okay, I got 3 slides for you to go over before we do our going out program. And just FYI, I requested any complaints, reports, anything to do with Bryan Christopher Kohberger at the W.S.U. Police Department and the Pullman Police Department. And I got a response that I won't get shiz until May. Like that visual snow thing, I think he could have put that out there so that when people found it, they'd go, oh my God, he's mentally ill. Like he's playing games. It's like a maze. You guys play, hey, come on. I know that 50% of my audience is between 45 and 65. I looked last night at my analytics. So you guys will know what maze craze is. Remember Atari, maze craze? It was all this messed up, like effed up maze. And you were lucky if your little square got around the maze. That's what this case makes me feel like, because maze craze gave me anxiety, and the thing would move faster. Every level you got up faster, it moved faster, and that's what this case is doing to me. So that's why I'm slowing down and I'm looking at the shiz on their websites, because it's too much. It'll drive someone mad. You know what I'm saying? That's just the truth. I never heard of it either, Chris K. I guess if you turn on an old TV and look at snow, that's what it talks about. That's what it is. I don't think he's talking about visual snow. His ass is probably doing, the white line stuff. Welcome back, ANGB. Okay, so this is allegedly the email between Chief Jenkins. We talked a lot about Jenkins. This is allegedly an email between Bryan and Chief Jenkins. So I'm going to blow this up so you guys can see. I don't know. Now, it says employee info. I don't think it would need to say that. Because why doesn't it say from? Obviously, who's Kelly Smith, right? She obviously is an employee, and it doesn't say from employee info there. So I think someone added that for the element of, look at all these rumors surrounding me every day. Right? That's probably what that was put there for. To put that shit up in the air to fuck with everybody. Excuse my French. Solvers Society, that knife sheath is stamped probably in China. Every single one of them that are that design. It's the most sold knife made by that company And they have the United States Marine Corps insignia because that's the first unit to use that knife. So that is their custom, specific knife. Has no bearing on anyone being in the military. I can go buy that shiz at Cabela's. I mean, we got lawyers on YouTube that have them. They're showing them. You know what I mean? Like, that's how well known it is. And Sam, now that French I understand. For real.
Like, what the fuck is this? And everybody's like, what the fuck is this?
And Rescue Notified, that is totally up for Europe. That's an opinion. That is up for, that's up in the air for a discussion. In my opinion, I think it's relevant. I think everything about a mass murderer is relevant. But that's just me. And that's why,
Corroborate.
I follow true crime because I think it's all relevant. And if you don't care about a certain part of his life, why are you even following? It's kind of sus, if you ask me.
We will put you behind bars at the Marcino Motel.
Yeah, you can buy them online. It's not hard to find. Those are very common knives. As a matter of fact, I want to do a little poll really quick because tomorrow I wanted to bring you guys something special that I have been researching. And that is going to be Danny Rawling case. Now, I'm going to put a poll. Hold on one second. I can't remember his name. It's Gainesville something. But tell me if you know who he is and if you're familiar with him. Michaela's saying he might have a brain tumor. The only brain tumor he has is part of his brain is obviously messed up. And it wouldn't surprise me if we heard that Bryan Kohberger had a really traumatic thing happen to him as a child. I'm not the prosecution, Rescued. I'm not the prosecution, thank God. So, because I think that they have a big job to do. They have a big job to do. Yeah, the Gainesville Ripper. Yes, thank you. I couldn't remember, so I put killer. We're going to be going over that tomorrow. And what I learned in my research of Danny Rawling is that Danny Rawling also used the exact K-bar knife that Kohberger allegedly used. Sure, Michaela. I mean, anything's possible. But yeah, he had the same knife, the same sheath, the United States Marine Corps logo. He murdered 4 sorority sisters and their friend, a male. Their friend, a male, was a very athletic male. Believe he was a frat boy as well. And it was a sorority at University of Florida. And he was executed. He has since been executed. Oh, baby, I don't take anything personal. I don't find anything irrelevant. I don't find Julie and James Fry irrelevant. I find them all relevant. Yeah, it's really eerily similar. So we're going to walk through that case because it seems like Kohberger took a little bit like a hodgepodge of different killings that he studied. And we're going to walk through what Danny Rawling did when he went into that sorority house and murdered those 4 women and that male that fought him. That male fought Danny Rawling to his death. So a lot of similarities. We know that he has studied numerous serial killers, and Danny Rawlings is a serial killer. He also killed in Louisiana before he came down to Florida. So we're gonna talk about him. I'll show you a picture of him. But never underestimate the amount of time and pre-planning that this Kohberger put into his murders, because he had time. He had nothing but time to plan, right? Nothing but time. Now, once he gets in that house, that's a different story. He doesn't have a whole lot of, control over what happens once he starts, whatever he called it, conducting his research or whatever the hell it was. But don't underestimate what he was capable of doing online in order to, set the stage for if and when he's caught, what investigators will find and what the public will find. He was no dummy to where true crime has gone, I'm sure, on social media. I really think that he was wise to that. Okay, so what happened to my slideshow? What happened to my slideshow? Did it just go off? Oh, there it is. Okay, so the first thing we're going to look at is the email. And this is Tuesday, April 12th. And it says, thank you. Hang on. Chief Jenkins. At 1:43 p.m. Chief Jenkins. It was a great pleasure to meet with you today and share my thoughts and excitement regarding the research assistantship for public safety. I look forward to hearing from you. Best regards, Bryan. And then at 1:49, the same day, Jenkins. Bryan, great to meet and talk with you as well, Gary. So was Bryan in Pullman in April? It doesn't sound like this was a Zoom. Great to meet and talk with you as well, Gary. So what does that mean? Was he there and left? Was he there and stayed? Was he not there? Do you think that this was a Zoom? Would you say great to meet and talk with you on Zoom? I don't know. Maybe you would. Oh, off campus. Okay, so it's even more like the Idaho 4. Thank you for correcting me, the Packer chick. So I don't know. I guess that can be up for interpretation as well. So our next slide is the position summary of what the graduates will do. And we went through that already. And then the final one is this. So this is the Graduate Research Assistant RA. A research assistantship is an appointment in which a graduate student is engaged in research under a faculty member's supervision. So if Bryan did get in, he may have, or he would have been under a faculty member's supervision. So it could have been that Macon guy. It could have been another professor, but he has to be under the supervision or they rather have to be under the supervision of a faculty member. The faculty member is generally a principal investigator on a grant or contract. So maybe it's someone from the police department. RAs are available in many departments and special programs. Students should contact their department program to inquire about RA opportunities. And then this is where it gets interesting. Graduate assistants who maintain at least a half-time, which is 20 hours a week, appointments are, graduate assistants who maintain at least a half-time, 20-hour-a-week appointment are eligible for full tuition waivers. This microphone's driving me nuts. Full tuition waiver. So he would add his school 100% paid for. This is a huge opportunity. Huge opportunity. Exactly, Leslie. Exactly. Oh, it was Easter weekend. So he would have been on. So he could have went out there. So maybe because he never wanted to do this. Maybe he wanted to carry out a killing and this is how he went about doing it. Maybe he really didn't want to do this for a living. Hi, Miss Nightbot. Maybe he never wanted to do it. Solvers, I think there's something with the delivery of the food, and I think there's something with the driver that drove them to the bar and drove them home. Yes, Solvers Society, I definitely think that there is a connection somehow. I don't know if that person was knowing or unknowingly, because Kaylee's sister said they knew the driver. They knew they knew the guy that picked them up, and they knew the guy. It was the same guy that took them to the corner club that picked them up from the grub truck. I agree, Phoenix. So it says full tuition waivers. Students appointed a quarter time are eligible for half tuition. They must reside in the state of Washington, but non-resident graduate students are also eligible. I think it's possible, you guys, that he did a lot of online classes for his master's and lived in Washington, because you could have done school from anywhere during COVID. He wouldn't have to live in Pennsylvania. He could have moved out there. It's interesting, Solvers. Yeah, it's crazy. There's a lot to this. So anyways, they can get non-resident waivers for the out-of-state portion of tuition during their first year. So he could have actually moved out there, gained his residency while finishing off his master's. We have no idea. We don't know. Penny, how do we know that for sure? We have no... We can't possibly know that for sure, Penny. Please tell me where you saw the move-in date of Bryan Kohberger to Washington State. I definitely think there's more than one Elantra floating around there. I mean, we know there was how many that the chief said they had to investigate? There was a lot. I definitely think there was more than one car. And I think it's possible that Bryan knew that this driver drove a white Elantra. I think Bryan tried to pin this on several people. I think that was part of his game. Catch me if you can. Cat and mouse, if you will. I mean, it's really not all that complex. when you think about it and you think about the past crimes. He's really regurgitating what other people did. I don't think he's, that smart. I don't think he can outsmart all these FBI agents. I know that. Penny, there's no way to verify if that's his mother on Reddit. So I will not take that as fact. I'm going to stick with my original theory that he could have moved out there during COVID and been going to school online. Gosh, this thing, my studio's falling apart. My ring light broke, so my lighting's horrible. Now my mic stand is like worn out. I'm having problems. Leslie, guys, the leather sheath would have soaked up the blood if it ran down. If it was under her body or next to her body, it would have been soaked with blood, yes. I would imagine. If it was, because it said it was under or next to Madison's body. Yeah, I think that's totally possible. That he knew these rideshare programs existed. He knew the girls used them. And he knew what kind of car they'd be in. We don't know when he got this car. Do we? Just because his phone service started then doesn't mean that's when he moved there. It's a cell phone, correct? Thank you, Tara Cook. I just got Canadian Canuck $20. Thank you so much, Tara. So generous of you. Can't stop addicted to the shindig. Yeah, I think he left it there on purpose. I think he played games, you guys. Game after game. Everything this guy did, you have to assume was some sort of mind game. So if you step into his mind, if you want to step into his mind, you have to think about what he wanted to accomplish. We know what he wanted to accomplish because we see the aftermath. So what did he do prior to accomplishing his crime? Yes, it is. It's in Michael's name. Michael Kohberger is the, thank you, Ange. Michael Kohberger is the registered owner of the White Elantra. So if you take all this into consideration, we don't know shit about the Kohberger family. Do you know what we know? We know that his sister was in a slasher flick. We know that his mom wrote something allegedly about a shooting. All of this could have been put out there by Bryan Christopher Kohberger. All of it. Everything you find about the slasher flick, all this, that's the only thing we can find about his sister. And you know why? Because he had no control over that stuff. Because his sister was just a person in the movie. There's a producer, there's other actors. You can't make that disappear. And he may have told his family hey, put this shit on private or, because this is what I study and this is what we found out. Who knows? We know that he talked Casey Farts into taking him to buy heroin and he lied to her. So this dude, I don't put anything past him. I just think he pre-planned all this online shit that we're finding. It's crazy because if you think about it, we never would have come across it until we heard his name. So we hear the name Bryan Kohberger and we're all like, Google fingers, Bryan Kohberger. And then we're looking at his family members and then we're Googling their names and then we're Googling that person's name. And then we're going into their family members and this and that and the other. And he could have planted all of that. He could have planted all of it. So I think we just have to take a step back and like think about that he pre-planned probably a lot more than anything else. So hang on a second, you guys. I'm going to mute for 1 second because I'm going to make sure I've got this clip at the right spot. So hold on 1 sec. You guys aren't going to hear anything but my big mouth for a minute. So have you guys followed the Lisa Marie Presley funeral and stuff? So I got really excited yesterday because, you know, I love music. If you followed me for a while now, you will know that I absolutely love music. It's my life. It makes my world go around. And yesterday I was so excited because I was like, oh my gosh, you know, first of all, you know, rest in peace, Lisa Marie Presley. Sad. Oh, and I want to try this chat highlight first. Hold on. Let me see here. It says here I'm supposed to be able to highlight a chat, but I don't. It's not letting me. Well, shucks. Okay, so anyways, let me get rid of that. I was really excited because I was like, oh, one of my favorites, Guns N' Roses. You know, you've seen me wear my Guns N' Roses shirt. Love them. Love Axl Rose. And I turned it on and I'm like, get out. Like, I was ready to just like kick back, close my eyes, listen to the song. It's one of my favorite songs, November Rain. And wow, this is what I came across. So I saw him, you know, sitting at his piano and I got really excited. I was like, yes, some Axl Rose piano solo with November Rain. As I saw these guys back in, I don't know, probably like 2015 or something. And when they did November Rain, I had goosebumps. So when this came on, I was like super duper excited. And I even, you know, text my friends that are like big movie or music fans. I'm like, watch this with me. So this is Graceland. And this is Axl Rose on the piano. And after this, we are going to, I'm not going to play the whole thing because I'll get struck. But after this, we're going to dance it out. And tomorrow, we're going to be going over Danny Rawlings. So I see that most of you have not heard of his story. So we're going to be going over that tomorrow. So make sure that you look for that event. It's not up yet. And click that bell so that you get notified. So yeah, I was really excited. But yeah, let's see how Axl did. Okay. He's awesome on the piano. Oh, wait, maybe I should unmute it. Whoops. Okay. Psych. That was a teaser. Of some Axl teaser. Okay. Sorry about that. Here we go. Never fails. So you're like, oh yeah. You're just waiting for Axl to belt it out, right? Me too, Michaela, but
when I hold you, don't you know I feel the same? Ooh, yeah. 'Cause nothing lasts forever, and we both know hearts can change. And it's hard to hold a candle in the cold November rain.
Potato, I couldn't either. Oops.
Well, been through this such a long, long time, just trying to kill the pain. Ooh, yeah.
dance it out. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great night.
If we could take the time to lay it on the line, I could rest my head just knowing that you were mine.
I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. 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 You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to friends, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time for that. Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I'll never call you back. 'Cause I ain't got time.
You buzzed?